Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel HiralsWorld. Today we are going to talk about how can you find job in Canada. I don't know if and how much you know about Canada, but recently there has been news going around that Canada has massive job shortages and that people here are not getting jobs. Even students who are coming here are not really getting part-time work. So how should you build upon your experience if you are coming to Canada as a student, or if you are a recent graduate and are unable to find a job, or if you're coming here on open work permit? So without further ado, let's dive into this video. But before that, hi, if you're landing on this page for the first time, I'm Hiral Sejpal. I make videos about working abroad, studying abroad, and I live in Canada, so you'll be also finding a lot of Canada vlogs on this channel. So disclaimer, this is all from my own experience. I personally landed 3 job offers even before I passed out of my university. So let me give you some practical tips in terms of how you can land a full-time job in Canada. So the first come first, of course, your resume and cover letter. If you have not watched my resume video, then I will be putting it somewhere over here, and also I'll be putting it in the description box below. So do feel free to go and watch those videos. But one thing that you need to know is try to relate your experiences. Now, I know many of my freshly graduated people who do not have much of work experience, you will be thinking, oh, what should I put? Or how do I put it? Your volunteering experiences, your any part-time jobs that you have done while you were studying, or when you were maybe in your high school, or I don't know, like any club experiences, anything that you have, you can put all those things on your resume. Trust me, sometimes we try to underestimate and we try to be so hard on ourselves that we don't tend to look at what all things we have done. So sit down, take some time and learn about all the things that you have done ever since your high school and how you can put those things in your resume. Please tailor your resume and your cover letter for each position that you are applying for. And please do not use ChatGPT or AI. I know that ChatGPT is coming up, but it is still not smart enough for a machine to not detect that it has been created by AI. So now comes the second thing, and I think perhaps some of you might be trying it, but some of you may not be trying it, is to connect with people via LinkedIn. But I'm not asking you to connect with them just when they have a job opening. I would say that connect with people when they do not even have a job opening and yet you want to get their time, and ask them right questions. Questions that would give you some of the insights into the kind of job that they do, the skills that they need. Ask them how they started, right? Have that heart-to-heart conversation. Like if suppose they were to start now, what all things they would consider. That will give you some smart ideas into how you can get started within the field, and also what types of skills you can put in your resume. Not every person that you meet will be able to give you the right answer. Some people just get lucky and then they might just have landed a position and they may not have answer for it. And not to mention, but Canada does have some sort of racism. Not that it's the most racist country, but it does have some sort of racism. So sometimes you might find people who are not that into you, or like who wouldn't want to give you information, or they might not like you. But it doesn't hurt you at least approaching them and knowing what kind of people are out there. The next tip is cold calls. Yes, you can always do cold calls or cold emailing. Again, please don't be a stalker, just call once. Sometimes I would look up the postings and I wouldn't hesitate to call that office or the HR in that office, and then ask maybe few more questions related to the position, right? That shows that you have applied, but yet you're super curious to learn more about and also contribute your own skills into the job. So networking and cold calls is something that definitely is going to help you. So make sure that you're preparing for interviews. So let's suppose if you are trying to convince a hiring manager through your cover letter that, hey, yes, I have these skills to be invited for the interview, you need to demonstrate those skills. So for example, let's say if you're saying that you are detail oriented, and then if you have a question that relates to, could you tell us about a time when you had to pay attention to detail and how did you manage it despite having conflicting priorities, then in that case you should have a solid example that says that how you were able to manage that task, right? Put enough efforts in getting the interview. And lastly, I'm pretty sure if you have been trying to get a job, there is one thing that you must have tried to do, and you might be doing it even more, is asking for feedback post interview if you're not getting a job. And there will be very few people who will be actually giving you a correct feedback, because many times in especially in Canada, people like to be polite and they are individualistic. They do not want to mentor you, and again, they are not there to mentor you. So when you do find a good mentor, respect them, get the real feedback from them. So try to also self-analyze, right? Lastly, when you are doing a job search, just don't sit. I would strongly recommend that even if it's a cashier job, take it, because you never know. When you have a degree, you can always step up the ladder pretty easily and quickly if you are on the right path. And the last tip is that be persistent and be proactive. So yes, job searching should be your priority, but please just do not sit at home and then for next 3 months all I'm going to do is apply for jobs and do nothing else. Do not try to do that. It's just because you're jeopardizing your own situation. Rather, take up a part-time job. Take up some job where you like volunteering, or do something. And that is only because when you have local people's references, it will make a huge difference in your application. Also, you never know, if you were to work at some other position. For example, one of my friends, she worked at London Drugs. So initially she started working as a cashier part-time, then she became a store manager, and now she is stepping up the ladder and then working as some HR in the same company. So she's working as a HR of London Drugs. She would have never thought that she would be there, right? But then how did she get there? Because internally it was very easy for her to step up the ladder. So that's all for today. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and do share it with your loved ones or whoever is looking for jobs. And I wish you good luck for your job search. I'll see you next time. Until then, bye. Take care.